Welcome to the show, presented by VDG Sports. I'm your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. Yes, back. Amazing show that I got lined up for you. Amazing show that I have lined up for you. And here's the thing. Does it take a sport team owner being present at the game for the club to be successful, or for it to be properly ran or properly run, depending on who you are? That is the topic. That is a question, or it could be formulated as a question. I'd have to say it really does not matter. It doesn't matter, but it does look or come off a certain way, depending on how the franchise or the team or the operation is being ran or run to begin with, will give the owner more leeway or not, depending on if he's present. But I'd suggest, and I'd say, free advice. If you are going to not show up and be there more often than not, I'd suggest you at least show up and be there for milestones. For milestones, whether it's team oriented, a team goal, or you are honoring a player of the past, even though it's not, or it wasn't under your time of ownership. Those are the things that they would definitely have to show up for, definitely have to have a ceremony for, and definitely have to be present for. Anything else is asking a lot. Anything else is asking a lot. I know some fans, some fanatics will yell to the moon and how to that they would have to be there all the time. They'd have to be there all the time. Now, I get it. I understand. Us fanatics, whatever sport it may be, we would want to be there anyway, because this team is something that we enjoy greatly. This team is a part of our fabric. This team is a part of our identity. Of course, we're going to want to be there all the time. Of course, we are going to want to be there all the time. So taking the fan glasses off, taking the fanatic point of view away, and looking at it from a business point of view, a business perspective, an owner that's just using this as a means to an end, or to validate self, or some other reason that's not in line with our reason. It'll definitely be understandable that him or her does not show up and does not attend and is not there, because they are doing other things to make sure that the business is moving along. They are doing other things to make sure that they are banging in or ringing in the funds they needed, or the funds that's needed, the funds that's necessary to continue to have the operation moving along. In other words, if they really don't care, if it's just something to pass time, something to do, status symbol, or what have you, they have a regular job. That regular job may be just doing nothing and have money, make money. Fine, cool, okay, no worries, no issues, no problems. Or signing papers, and or both, or doing something else, period, because they want to do something else and not attend and not necessarily be around us fanatics. Come on now. I know some of you fanatics. I see how you operate. I see how you work. I would probably not want to be around 10% of you anyway. The other 90, let's do it. Let's go. And looking at it from that point, in my point of view, if it was definitely a team or a sport or something that I had a connection to, I would want to see it firsthand. I want to see it firsthand, because if it's operating correctly, if it's doing what it needs to do, running like a well-oiled machine, running like in business, a business that makes money, a business that the majority of the people are happy with and to associate with, I'd want to make sure that it's on track, make sure that things are working out. I wouldn't be an absent owner in that sense, because if things were not going right and things were messing up or going left, my left, your right, then I would want to be able to put my finger on the issues and weigh it down and correct it as soon as possible. Now, if it was something that I was just using as a status symbol, just had it, I'd still want it to be the best. Because if something's attached to my name, if something is attached to me personally and it's my brand, I would want it to be the best. I would want it to seem confident. I would want it to be, if not the greatest thing since sliced bread, definitely the greatest thing since the internet, for sure. Then again, if I was using this thing that I have, which would be a team, a franchise of whatever sport, and it was my only way of making money, only way of getting funds, then I definitely would not show up all the time. I make sure that the ends justify the means. I'm cutting corners that would not necessarily hurt the bottom line, because the bottom line is more important than the top, or being on top, or being the top, and making sure that I had a fall guy, an escape route, an escape plan to place the blame on, because I wouldn't want it coming back to me. I would not want that kind of energy coming back on me, because I just wouldn't. It's not that I wouldn't know what to do. I just wouldn't want to be put in that situation if I was running it that way. And I'm not speaking from experience, obviously, of course. I am basically just channeling some empires. I'm not going to call them evil empires, because evil empire, that's coined for one organization, but are they really evil for wanting to be the best? Are they really evil for wanting to be the best by any means necessary, except cheating? Only one or a few organizations will go the cheating route. You know who you are. I don't need to give you more airtime than you deserve. And I'm just saying this from observation. I'm just saying this from what I see. I'm just saying this from what I saw. See something, say something. And this is how some of the bad organizations that I see, that's how they operate. Or that's how their owners operate, just being absent, not showing up, cutting corners, doing this, doing that. That's from experience. That's from me seeing how they want to do things. And some of the good operations, The better operations is exactly how I described it, with a few nuances here or there, but hey, there's always nuance. There's always room for improvement. There's always that gray area. It's not black and white, it's that gray area that you have to worry about. So it's not necessary. It's not necessary for owners to be and show up at every game. It's not necessarily important if they are running things correctly, properly, meaning that they are making sure that the coaches have what they need, the players have what they need, and they're putting everything into making sure that the organization is winning. Then they don't have to show up. They can show up for those occasions, those milestones, those accolades, those ceremonies. Then it's needed. Then you have to. You can't tap out. You can't raise your hand and claim to be present on those. You actually have to show up and be there for those. That is a no way out. But the other instances where you're not doing what you need to do, you're not being available and making the funds available, and the other thing that comes with being bad organizations, you'll have a revolt. Yeah, I'm gonna go with revolt. You have a revolt or a revolution on your hands, and not the real kind. Not the real kind, but the imaginary kind, where your fan base either wear paper bags over their head because they're so embarrassed. They're too proud to quit the organization. They're too proud to quit the team, but they'll put that paper bag over their head. They'll put that paper bag over their head, cut some eyes out so they can see, and draw a smile upside down on the front. Some even take it a little further. How about dressing up like a clown? Why? Because they getting clowned. Why? Because the organization is a clown show. What do clowns do? Clowns make you laugh. Ha 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 ha. Clowns are not to be taken seriously. Ha 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 ha. Clowns are jokes. Ha 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 ha. Clowns get no respect. And so they dress up like clowns. They show up to the game, they show up to the match, they show up to whatever it may be like a clown. Or they make memes of clowns. Or they talk about clown college. Regardless. Too proud to quit. Because who does that? Who quits an organization? Who quits a team after spending so many years and possibly decades hoping, wishing that things will come good? You go to the next step. Paper bag, the clown stuff that I just pointed out. Or if the fan base are together, if this fan base have a plan, they will protest. They will have a strategy and line to say, hey, no more. We don't like the direction this is going. We don't like the direction this is going. But I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Fans coming together, protesting, making noise. How is this possible? How can they be able to do this? Well, it's all about branding. It's all about advertising. It's all about the dollar bill. It is a business, and I'm not knocking it for that. So if you have a loyal fan base that is together on these matters and they don't like the direction of the operation, they don't like the direction where it's going, they don't like where it's been for the past, let's say, 10 years, and they're fed up. They are fed up because the revenue is steady growing, going up, but the product that's getting put out there for them to see, for them to possibly be entertained by, is not good enough. It's not up to snuff. It isn't something that you would recommend to your worst enemy on his best day, saying that, yo, I got your back. Ain't no knife there. Ain't no knife there. And so if it's being like that and it's that bad, having a set group of fanatics and fans coming together when it's all about the revenue, money, regardless whether it's going up or not, that's the kind of attention that advertising don't want. That's the kind of attention that brands don't want to be attached to. Too much negativity trying to sell something or trying to get eyeballs. It's associated with not only losing and losers, but now disgruntled people. Disgruntled people are gonna have that emotion, that feeling tied into said brands or advertising, and it's not gonna be something that they look at and it's like, I want to buy that. I want to get that. I need that in my life. I need some of that good in my life. No. They're looking at this like, oh, you're part of that. You getting it too. You're part of that. You getting it too, along with some other things. And so some brands will pull out, some advertising will pull out, and then that is what open up eyes. That is what grabs attention. That is what makes the light bulb come on for some of the organization, for some of the owners, for some of the organizations, for some of the owners. When the fans get angry, when the fans show their frustration, not only with the paper bags, not only with the clown stuff, but also with the protesting, whether it's not going to games, whether it's not purchasing tickets anymore, whether it's just letting the people know that is watching the product for whatever reason that they are unhappy, and unhappy in the bad way. Not unhappy in the good way, but unhappy in the bad way. And they are doing all of that. Yeah. That's what gets attention. That's what turns the light on. That's what it takes for some organizations to understand and realize that too many people are in this clown car. Too many people are in this clown car. We need to make an emergency stop, and we need to turn around and go to a different direction, because the direction that we're traveling down, or the direction we're going, is a place that I don't want to go to. Hey, it's too dark. We need some light. Let's go ahead and turn them lights on. Let's go ahead and shine the light. Shine through. Go ahead and shine those lights. Then that would help, and some would get the picture. Others still wouldn't give a F. Still wouldn't give a F. And that's when you'd have to dig in. That's when you have to do it for a long period of time, and not just one game, not just two games, not just a season, but this is gonna have to be multiple seasons until everybody else in the league, everybody else, or all the other teams that's associated with that sport, revenue is going up while yours is barely going up. And notice I didn't say going down, because at this point everything is increasing, everything is going up. put some form of sport on the television or allow some to go to this sporting event, they will come, they will go, they will watch until proven otherwise. And I will say, I'll hang up and wait for my answer on the other side. But that'll take too long. I would say I'll hang up and wait for my answer on the other side, but that would take too long. Go ahead and prove me wrong, or prove yourself right, or some version of that. But I'm not gonna wait on it. I'm not gonna wait on it. And I know what 80% of you thinking. I know what 80% of you thinking. That's good. I'm thinking the same thing. But the other 20%, don't worry. I'm speaking from experience with most of this. A lot of my teams are bad. Been bad for a long time. Or have different county owners. Whether it's incompetent or incompetent or incompetent. They all got that in common. Incompetence. One group is trying to change it around. I give them credit for that. And I probably shouldn't say group. One team I like, owners or ownership is sort of turning it around, or they get it, the light bulb is on. Yay. It only took a few decades, but who's counting? It only took a couple decades, but who's counting? Who's counting? The other ones, incompetence. And there's different levels of incompetence, by the way. There's different levels. One incompetence is not the same as the other. One isn't the same as the other. Now, if they were all the same, you could just plug in. But they're different. One has no clue about the sport. The other one has no clue about the sport. But the one is actually trying to, I guess, be good, be relevant. Not happening. The other one, no clue, couldn't care, not bothered, don't worry, or not worried. It's fine, it's okay. The money's gonna keep flowing. And the other one, incompetent, now they are about definitely looking at other revenues or ways to get revenue out of the team, or via the team and via the sport. Different levels of incompetence. That's why the topic is a pretty interesting one, and it's the first time that I've actually tackled it this deeply and this in depth. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoyed it as well. And if I leave you with anything other than increased knowledge, you're welcome. An owner showing up and being there isn't the end all be all. It has no correlation with a team being good or not. There are other mitigating factors that come in to the picture, that comes into play, that determines whether or not the team is going to be good. However, I do think it's just the right thing to do for the owner to show up, either for celebrations, of course, ceremonies, of course, and maybe just once in a season or twice, just to know that, just so the fans and the fan base can know that you are still breathing, even though you aren't breathing. Think about that one. While you're thinking about that, let me know, let them know and let anybody else know. What are your reasoning, whether it's wanting an owner there or not wanting an owner there, or does it matter in the long run? If the team is competent, the organization is competent, and if you're not winning, you're closer to winning, and you're not a part of clown anything in paper bags. That's not too much to ask, or is it? I tried.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.